It says starting preview, but it started like 30 seconds ago. So, oh, hey, we're live. Welcome blah. That's a nice way to start. It's late. Welcome everyone to Burning the Midnight Ortho. I have a guest tonight, Chris Gajewski. Did I say that right?
Yep.
Okay. Of Bryn, Mawr Orthodontic Lab in Pennsylvania. He's working late tonight. He sent me pictures of all the stuff he's working on, and he's working very late tonight. And so I thought I'd bring him on, and we work late tonight together. And if you're new to this, this is where I set up interviews with people just like you, other ortho lab owners and technicians that work late into the night, just so you know you're not alone. We're in this together. So this is a special guest because he's also the president of the Association of Orthodontic Laboratory Professionals, and I'm sure we'll get into that tonight. So, Chris, say hi to everybody.
Hello, everyone. Cheers. I'm Chris. I'm the owner of Bryn Mawr Orthodontic Lab. I've owned Bryn Mawr Orthodontic Lab now for like 15 years. It's coming up on. I've been in the industry for over 30 years now. I prefer where we're working late at night because no one's here to bother me, and my employees annoy the living crap out of me. They always tend to ask me stupid questions that they know the answer to, and the phone's not ringing. So I just like to be in here at night and just get my work done because it's quiet, it's calm, and I can jam out on the tunes as loud as I will want one. So, and I always have my coffee.
Oh, yeah. Welcome. I got one that says hubby.
Mine's Bucky's tonight.
do they have Bucky's anywhere else but Texas?
I don't think so. I got this off of Crystal and Jason when I was down in Austin.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, how was that trip?
That was so much fun. I got to stand there with Stevie Ray Vaughan, so made the trip.
Yeah.
And then Crystal and Jason, of course, are just fantastic people. And they got a couple of pictures of me that I don't want circulated on the internet.
Yeah, I got a few of those too when you came down to Texas. I don't know what you do when you come to Texas, but there's always blackmail pictures when you leave.
It's a Texas thing.
Yeah. So, you're working late and I'm working. Let's see, I'm sitting here. Let me show my work here. Yeah, I'm sitting here bending a wraparound. But you have a ton of work that you're doing.
Well, this is always typically our slowest couple weeks of the year. And I don't know what happened, but the work it just poured in. So I'm getting that stuff done. And then just getting ready for tomorrow because my guys have no idea what they're walking into because they ignored my phone calls. So they'll be coming in at about like 4 or 5 a.m. and they'll be like, "Oh shit," and I'll be sleeping until about like 8 or 9. So, and then the phone calls will start coming.
So are you bending? Well, the pictures you showed me had a bunch that you had already bent and ready for pouring.
All those were bent. I think that I poured about like a 440 to 50 retainers today. I still got one more, and like now I'm just cleaning up work for to bad, and then I'll see how late I'm here. I'll see how tired I am and see if I feel like bending anything.
But did you say how long you've been at your work on a Sunday?
I got here about 1. So it's 11 now, so I've been here for 10 hours.
Goodness. Well, welcome.
I screw around too, so it's not like it's all work.
What's on your radio right now? What are you listening to?
Well, I mean, like because I'm on, no, I'm here. I'm keep it, and out of no, I'm off. But I jam out to all kinds of stuff. Big fan of Steve Ray Vaughan and Eric Clapton. Um, Today was an Icelandic band, Kaleo, and then the Black Keys.
Oh, the Black Keys. Oh.
So I really go like all over the place in the music spectrum. So
You know, my wife for Christmas got a record player. She wanted a record player really bad, and one of the things I put on the list of things to buy is the Black Keys record, El Camino.
okay, yeah.
I want that one on the record. I think that'd be a great record to play.
See, see, I don't understand you young people. Because I had a record player. Player, and then that's why I bought CDs. I chucked that sucker.
Well, you know, in dental lab school, I went to dental lab school in San Antonio. One of the guys I went to lab school with, his name was John Cho, and he was a rave DJ in a previous life.
Okay.
Like, he would play in front of 10 to 50,000 people in
Oh,
these
wow.
big aircraft hangars in L.A. And he turned me on to vinyl because he goes, oh man, just the sound. So he's one of those audiophiles that really like the record. But CDs sound amazing. I mean, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, see, I just don't understand them with people because I just like the sound. So, I mean, and vinyl, it just has, it's a lower quality sound. So,
yeah, but something about, they were saying something about the needle and the percussion. Anyway, we're getting off subject, but that's what tonight's for, to get off subject and enjoy each other's company, knowing we're both working late. But dadgum, you've been there a long time. This is it usually slow in Pennsylvania during this time, you said?
yes.
What about when school starts or right before school starts?
Well, now is when everyone is typically on vacation. So July itself is and then the first 2 weeks of August are like dead, and then the last 2 weeks of August we get killed. Because all the kids are coming back from vacation. They all want their braces off or their retainers or starts or RPs or something before they start school, because all the kids start school in the first week of September here.
Okay. Yeah, ours is the last week of, I think, August, last part of August. So it's starting to ramp up right now. In fact, I ran out of case pans. I had to use boxes for a case pan. Well, I don't know. You don't use case pans, but I use case pans.
You don't use case pans.
Yeah. There's no use. You never run out because you don't have case pans. You use tubs. Oh, my God.
That's my case pan.
So let me ask, do you write what you want on the bottom of them?
Well, there's, on the back of each case is a name and a date.
Okay.
And then on the front of each case, not on these yet, I gotta find this one here. I don't know where the hell that one went. But so like, if you see that, it's got that mark in the center, and that's an RPE.
Whoa.
On this one here, you really can't see it all that much, but there's a check mark with a blue dot. And that check mark with a blue dot, it means something in particular.
Oh.
That means C-class on the 4s with Duralloy wire and the bow well on. So everything is all drawn and marked, and that's how we go by things.
Well, and that was the first time I ever did that, was when I worked at, I don't know if you can see this. I'm showing it to the other camera first, but like this is a wraparound, so we just draw a wraparound. And I picked that up from the lab I worked at before. It's just a basic drawing of a wraparound. But I've seen that before where there's shorthand in the palette.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, see, I mean, that's the way that I learned. I mean, I learned at my uncle's lab in Maryland. I mean, I'd been around there since I was like 4, I guess. And actually, the first record player that I owned, they bought me.
oh, it goes full circle. We were just talking
we,
about.
we went full circle because he had the entire album collection that I was not allowed to touch. Because
Oh,
I could screw with my record player and my records, but I wasn't allowed to touch his. He was a big blues man, so he had some old albums.
oh, that's where you got into blues and Stevie Ray Vaughan and Eric Clapton and.
Oh yeah, and all them guys and John Winter and Ledbetter and Muddy Waters and the whole 9 yard. So I got all them on my iPod now.
Oh,
And then I just sold all of my CDs at a yard sale because I downloaded them onto my computer and my iPod about like 5-6 years ago, I guess, and they just sat in a box. So I'm like, what the hell do you do with these things?
right. Well, let me flash back, and I'm not as old as you think I am, but remember Blockbuster Music?
Yes.
And you could go in and actually listen to the CDs before you bought them?
Yep.
And they'd open them up, and you can open. One of the first CDs I bought there was Eric Clapton from the Cradle.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, that I wore that CD out, and I didn't know anything about it. I was like, I heard of Eric Clapton, his Layla and all that. And so I put the headphones on. I was like, oh, this is cool, because that was a really bluesy,
Oh
like,
yeah.
recorded in one take kind of.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And so I really enjoyed that. So if I'm going to do karaoke, it's going to be
Yes.
that. And so, speaking of karaoke, and the pictures I'm not allowed to show, I have them right. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have them. But
The blackmail videos, me attempting to do karaoke.
and now that was the first year. This past year we didn't have karaoke, but I've heard we need to come back with the next conference.
I was kind of hoping for it.
Yeah, that we had a band. I don't know if you got to see them or not.
Yep.
Last year, but little 2-piece band and a fiddle and all that Texas music, and but we might have to bring the karaoke back also. I think that was a lot of fun, a lot of tomfoolery.
Oh yeah, that was a lot of the fun.
And so, shameless plug, the next Ortho Lab conference is March 27th and 28th of 2020 in
Yep.
March. So, which
And
worked.
and the shameless plug, if you're watching this video, it's because of the AOLP. So sign your asses up.
Yeah.
We need more members.
Well,
It's cheap. It's $100 for the year.
yeah. That's what Micro Lab, 1 or 2, us ones that well, where do you land at? How many employees you got?
5 now.
5.
It's me and 5 employees. I just had this conversation with someone. I had 7, and then at the time I was so involved in learning all the digital stuff. And my new wire vendor, he was not up to speed yet. Now he's fantastic, but I was wearing a lot of hats at the time. And then I came up for air. I looked around, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Because all of my employees are all salary. So I'm just kind of like, okay, I just want a full day's worth of work out of everyone. It's like, I mean, I had this one guy that all that he was doing was pouring retainers. And I'm just like, no, 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 because I know how fast that I can pour, and I know how many I can get done in a day. So so I was like, I want all this done, and then I also want you doing this, 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 and this, and this. Now I don't know if I'm just like super fast, or I mean, I have been doing this for a long time, so I don't expect people to be as fast as I do. But I just saw people making um, a part-time job into a full-time job. And I
Doing
didn't appreciate that because, as I said, everyone was on sale, and in here on Sunday at 11 o'clock. So, so I hired a new person, and then I got rid of two of them. And so, like now, the lab is running a lot smoother now than it ever has.
well, and that was my topic of last week's uh, Burning the Midnight Ortho. Steve Zara and I were talking about that post on Facebook about I got an employee and they're coming in late and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And you made a comment. I think it was you. You said, I got rid
Yep.
of my worst ones. Now we produce more with less people.
Yes.
And I thought that was an important. And I think you just explained why you got rid of the toxic ones.
Well, it's not. I mean,
Not
I,
toxic,
I
I
mean,
guess.
I think that like we as lab owners, um, we tend to suck as business owners. Like we just expect our
Yeah.
employees to have the same work ethic as we do, and they don't. Um, so the best advice that I ever got about having employees was from my wife or ex-wife. I'm not quite sure where that stands at, but 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 she taught art first through fifth grade, and she was like, you have to treat employees the same way that I treat my kids. Um, that's not what's that word that I'm forgetting the word. I don't mean it to be like
Derogatory?
looking down on. Yes, I don't mean it to be derogatory or saying something bad about this person, but if you treat them like the kids, like you set clear expectations and you follow through on your threats. So once I started to do that, it really improved things, and then it really allowed me to make my lab grow. I mean, I moved from a small basement space. Now I have over a third now. Well, I use about 1,800 square feet now. And then I got another 1,800 square feet that I can grow into.
Oh, wow. I think I added up all the square footage I'm using. It's 290.
Okay.
It's about probably where you were in your basement.
Yeah.
But it's just me and my
Yeah.
wife. I didn't want employees. I came from being an employee, seeing what the bosses had to deal with ones that are not, I don't know how to say, they don't have the passion for it. I had to
Right.
train them. Some just have the talent and they have the but they don't have the gumption. You know,
Right.
it's
The work ethic, I think, is what's missing for many people. You just, I mean, I've just worked all my life. I started to work. I I falsified my birth certificate when I was 12 so I could get a job that you had to be 14 for at the
oh
time.
my gosh. That is
So
work
I've been
ethic
working
right
all
there.
my life, and I've worked hard all my life. And then now I see these kids coming in, and they don't want to work, and they just want a raise. And I'm
Oh
just like,
wow.
and I'm just like, no, it don't work that way.
Right. Yeah, we ran into that also. But not to be negative all the time, you still get those gems in the rough sometimes, employee wise. Just like Carla was saying, you know, she has a right hand person that's there on time every time, and she's very dependable. Uh,
Mhm.
and so that
Well, no. I mean, it's not really a I mean, I don't think of it as a derogatory thing, because I mean, because like my best story is my right hand man now is this guy whose name is Sergey. He's 29 now. I hired him when he was 21.
Oh, wow.
And he was so 21 it could have been considered a disability. He really could have been. But I fired him about like 10 to 15 times just because he kept on trying to fight with me. But the interesting thing about him is that one, he like had the hands, he could bend.
Oh, that's nice.
And then two, he was just honest to a fault.
Oh.
So like his dad is like a big CPA, owns his own firm, and then so after an argument and me firing him, I would tell him, go home, tell your father what you just told me, and then come back and tell me what he says. Okay, and he would. So like he would come in the next day, and then I'm like, and then he would come in with the hangdog look, and then I'm like, so what did your father say? My father told me to keep my fucking mouth shut and get my work done. Okay, so what do you want to do? I want to keep my fucking mouth shut and get my work done. I said, okay. So that went on for a couple years, and then he started like, oh, I'm hitting around for a raise. And then I was just like, no, you haven't learned anything. You're still doing the same thing as you did after the last raise. You have to show me more. And then he was like, well, if you give me a raise, I'll show you more. And then he was like, and then I was like, it doesn't work that way.
No.
But he really didn't understand though. So I did what my wife said. I said, clear expectations. I said, okay, if you learn how to do this, I'll give you an extra $1. If you learn how to do this, I'll give you an extra $2. You learn how to do this, I'll give you an extra $3. And then he was all pissed off about it. And then he didn't do anything for about a month. And then he finally did learn that first thing. And without even asking me, without even showing me, on his next page check, he got that raise.
Oh, excellent.
And then I think that something just like clicked inside of him, like, oh, that's what he's talking about. So the other two things, which I was expecting him to take another 6 more months to learn, he learned inside of a month. But it was a huge help to me, so I gave him the extra $3. And now he's my highest paid employee now. He works his butt off. He knows what he's doing. And so it's sort of like, so it started off as a very negative story, but it turned into a very positive one. And now he wants to buy the lab. So I'm like, okay.
Excellent. Yeah, that is a perfect story of taking something bad and turning it into something good. We had that same thing where and we tried to break it down. It's like, you learn this, everybody started like $8 an hour. Yeah. And then it was like, I just dropped my wire. Dadgummit. the bane of existence. Oh, it's down there somewhere and I can't reach it. I think I've dropped it. Anyway, but there was a few that took that to heart and was just, oh yeah, teach me, and some were like, like you said, pay me and I'll learn it. And I was like, no, in this industry, that just like you said, the more you help me, the more I will pay you, and the less you have me do, the better. Oh, I didn't drop the wire; it's on the model the whole time. Everybody's screaming at me online. Oh my gosh, a guy. We were talking about employees, and a guy from Ortho Works is commenting, "Hey, Mohammed, how you doing?" That's awesome. He's one of the good ones. that wanted to learn and kept learning, and he stayed on a long time. And him and his friend Todd were really good employees, and I think they're really good for their. They the bosses say nothing but good things about them. They're young kids that were going to college at the same time as we're training them, so they'd go to class.
Oh, that's great.
And then after class they'd come in and they'd work for, well, until we got done, 7 or 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah, I mean, so I was like, so all my employees, they know that I'm not cheap, as opposed to my old boss who was, and I always promised myself I wouldn't be him. So I'm not. So, but again, it's really it's just a completely different thing as a lab owner and an employee that I found out the hard way when I bought the lab. I'm still kind of wondering why.
Why'd you do this to yourself?
Years. What's that?
Why you did this to yourself?
Uh-huh.
Well, let's go into your history a little bit. You were invited, 3 or 4 years ago? You were invited by Priscilla to come speak at the DLAT conference.
Yes.
And you spoke on, it was a business speak. I think maybe it was called I Don't Make Teeth.
Yes.
We don't make
teeth.
teeth.
New orthodontic lab.
Yeah, the new orthodontic lab, yes. And right when this digital thing was just taking off. And from that, did you have an idea of the association at that time before you came to DLAT, or did that come after?
That really came after. I mean, I was just excited to be invited. It was just, it was such a good time. I mean, I just felt, especially with the time it changed, that it was necessary, because I saw all these labs floundering, and I don't look at any lab as competition.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I just believe that we're all in this together. I don't believe that someone can steal an account off of me. I think that the only thing that I can do is lose an account.
Right.
So I don't mind teaching people, and I have had local lab owners who you would consider my competition here in my lab, and I'm teaching them about printing and scanning and stuff like that. So I think at the association, it grew out of that. It grew out of Ernesto.
Ernest,
really,
yeah.
It was his idea.
Yeah. Ernest Cardenas. And
right.
I don't know if you know my history with him. I used to work for him.
Yes.
Back in the day when I was in lab school, and I'd walk across the street, and I'd help finish retainers for him.
Okay.
And I learned it was it was great being under his wings. He taught me a lot.
Yeah, I mean, he was just a fantastic guy, and I just screwed something up. So I'm not paying attention as much as I should.
I know. I just screwed up this wraparound. I may have to start over.
Yeah, I'm not really all too good at multitasking. I'm a male.
Yeah, I guess I'm not either. I'm the wrong industry.
This is my first time attempting to concentrate and talk at the same time.
So I'm causing you to work even later.
That's no big deal. I don't got no place to go anyway.
But talking about, labs without competition, I just had a local lab. He's about 40 minutes from me. He contacted me. He's like, "Hey, you got a 3D printer? Can I come see it?" I was like, "Yeah, come on over." And I've even asked him. I said, "Hey, I'm about to go drop off information in this town." It's like, "Do you serve that town?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "All right, I'll stay away." It's just kind of a courtesy, and making sure I'm not impinging on his territory. But I feel the same way. I don't feel like I'll lose a doctor before someone steals him from me.
Right.
And if they steal the doctor from me, I probably wanted that doctor to go anyway.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, I mean, I ran into that. I mean, because it's like when I first bought the OLAT lab, um, I wanted to expand a bit, so I sent out all these mailers, all local, and then my partner, he did drive-bys and stopped in.
To drive-bys. Oh
What's
yeah,
that?
it is Pennsylvania.
Oh,
They did drive-bys.
okay, not that kind of drive.
Okay.
And then I got a call from a local lab, and this guy that I was friends with, that I had actually worked for, like way back in like 1999. And then he was like, "Yo, Chris, Eric keeps on stopping by at this doctor's and this doctor's and this doctor's." And then I'm like, "Yeah, I'm doing advertising." He was like, "Well, they're my accounts." And then I was like, "Well, I didn't know that."
Yeah.
I'm like, how am I supposed to know that? And he was like, "Well, yeah, I can understand that." So I was like, "Look, if you want me to, I got this list. I can stop by there, and then you can go, through the OA list and cross off the ones that you don't, and cross off the ones that you don't want me to stop by at." So I was like, "Okay," and then so he was like, "Okay, fine." So that's exactly what he did. He crossed off all of his counts.
Oh.
And then I went after all the other ones.
Oh, it was nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because I just think that this industry has changed just like so much. Like back when I started out, it's like when I bought the lab, if you picked up like one new account per year without losing an account, that was considered a fantastic year. And now it just seems to be a lot different for now, where it's more of a revolving door. I mean, I just lost that account on Friday, or I probably did.
Yeah, you're known for not holding your mouth with the doctors. I'm sure you had some choice words, but you still maintain a lot of them that you've lost your temper with. So that's good. That right? You still on
Well,
good.
yeah. I mean, I just tell them I don't try to sugarcoat things. And what happened on Friday is that it's a fairly new account, and they have a type of scanner that I don't know who's watching. I don't feel like being sued, so I'm not going to say who.
You mean again?
So again, sued again. Screw it. It's 3M. Them scans suck. So she has a 3M scanner, and she sends me through 3 scans, and they're all bad, but it was just my system, 3 shape, it accepts 2 of them. The 3rd scan, it was just so bad it crashed the computer twice.
Goodness.
So I just have a policy that when it crashes my computer a 2nd time, I'm not working on it. So I sent her an email, explained that, and explained that she needed to send me a better scan. Well, instead of getting the patient back in and getting a better scan, she calls 3M, and then she calls me and explains to me that 3M wants me to call them and work this out.
Oh.
Well,
You don't have time
I've
for that.
I've been down this road now a couple other times. I've spoken with them, and I've told them it's just a bad scan. It's a bad scanner. It sucks. And they're like, "Well, no, it's not." I'm like, "No, you want me? I'm an orthodontic lab owner with a couple $1,000 in soft. Well, no, I got more than a couple thousand, but I'm not a CAD/CAM specialist with $100,000 software program that can fix mesh. That's your job. And they're like, well, we think. I said, I don't care what you think. I said, if I can't get these scans processed in 5-10 minutes, it's a loss. So, and you want me to spend an hour with what program trying to fix this thing? No, it's not going to happen. And then so I told the doctor all this. And I said, look, doctor, I understand exactly where you're coming from. And I even told her, I said, this is where I lose accounts. Either
fair warning.
Either you're going to find a lab that's a lot more desperate than I am, or you're going to buy a new scanner.
Oh.
I mean, I'm just honest. I mean, so I'll find out tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Well, I mean, that's the two options. You know, you buy a new scanner or find a lab that can take those, that have, you know, Watson, the IBM supercomputer that can fix your scans.
Exactly. I mean, I'm looking at scans that teeth are missing. There's just a big hole in the scan.
What do you do with that?
Nothing. There's nothing that you can possibly do.
Oh man.
But apparently, like 3M has a way to fix that. So, but they want me to because they don't want to spend the time at it. And I'm just like, no, I'm not spending the time.
Well, when you said 3M, I thought 3Shape, and I was like, Trios. I've been getting good scans from Trios, but I forget what 3M is. Dextro? No.
I forget exactly which one that they are, but I think that the Trio scanner is the best one out there.
I get nice scans from a Trio scanner. Man.
You get beautiful scans off of that. I think that the second best one is the Care Street.
Is that 3M? That's not 3M.
No, that's
Wings.
Sorona.
Oh,
that's
okay.
why Sorona, I think. That's a really good scanner. Even I read a study about a couple years ago and then it was actually, the study was paid for by Dentsply Sorona, and then it was an evaluation of all the intraoral scanners out there. So they paid for it, so who were you expecting to be number one on the list?
Right.
Believe it or not, Trios was number one, and their scanner was just number two.
Oh, really?
So they actually were honest about it. Yep.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I deal with mostly my Tero scanners, and they were down about like 8 or 9, I think. But I get decent scans off of that.
Yeah, it's something you can fix. I mean, it takes a couple steps, but something you can fix. Well,
I mean, I think that a lot of it, though, because I found out a lot of it because my newest employee actually was a lab girl. I mean, was an ortho assistant, and then she was one of the first ones that was making scans. So all this thing that I thought that was iTero, or thought was this, or thought that was this, she came in and explained to me. She was like, "No, it's the girls. It's the girls doing the scan. They're lazy. They're trying to go fast, and they're not doing this, this, and this." So I was like, "Okay." So I just told all my doctors that I'm raising the prices for bad scans.
Surprise! That'll work.
Yeah, I mean, I said, look, it's not us. It's on you. You have to get your girls or guys. I'm not going to be sexist here, but you have to get your people better trained. It's not a race. You got to get me a good scan that I can process quickly. If it takes me more time to process it, I got to charge more. It's as simple as that.
Well, I mean, we're back full circle to plaster cast.
Yep.
Bad scan, bad plaster cast. You know, it was supposed to solve getting bad plaster cast, but if they don't use the wand right, you're going to get a bad scan. It's right. It didn't solve anything. It just shifted it.
I mean, because I've gotten calls from like a office is exactly like I get calls about the plaster cast where the patient is awful, and they just can't handle the impression material, where they can't handle the wand, so they just did the best that they could. But then I just get like lazy stuff where my girl Kayla actually explains to me, okay, this is happening because they're not doing this. This is happening because they're not doing this. Yes, they can see this on the screen and they can see how bad it is, and it would take them 2 seconds to go back over it, but instead they pass it on to me, which adds another like 5 to 10 minutes to post-processing. So I was like, okay. So right now I'm preparing a package to send out to all my doctors, which will be available strictly for AOLP paid members.
Nice.
That is just going to be that's going to be samples of bad scans and good scans. How to take a good scan, what's going to happen with the bad scans, and how to submit the script through EasyRx or through my own my web-based thing. Because I want things to run more smooth for me, and I want things to run more smooth for the doctor's office, because I do work for that. And the smoother that things go for them, the smoother that things are going to go for me.
Yeah, so true. What I've learned, what somebody's told me, and I forgot who, maybe it was you, that Trios scans are better because it forces the assistant to finish the scan.
Yes.
And Itero doesn't force, or because those are the two I've only had experience with. And I was mentioning it to somebody, like I noticed my Trio scans that come in are perfect almost, and so the Trios was the software forces the assistant to finish the scan. And
something like that. So yeah.
So this, what other plans you got for AOLP coming up that's out there?
Well, I got that going. I'm starting a whole thing about Hawley's on LinkedIn, where I'm pushing Hawley's. I'm just telling it like it is.
Oh yeah, like how much longer they last? How much? You're almost doing PSAs for our industry.
Right, and then like now, of course, being on LinkedIn, you can tell when someone has checked out your profile.
Right.
Well, all the higher ups at Align Tech have now checked out my profile.
Oh, you're getting passed around Align Tech.
Who else can I piss off now?
Yeah, don't piss them off. They're huge.
I piss off everyone. I don't give a shit. Whatever.
That's why you're perfect for the position of president. Wait a minute. There's a link between AOLP president and the United States of America president. Just pissing off people. So my next question is, why did you secretly vote for Trump? I'm just kidding. No politics. Don't get started.
Let's not open up that can nerves.
Oh, yeah, that would have crashed the servers.
Well, I try my best now, especially on Facebook because of the AOLP, and that's my baby. That's my project. And then so I know that a lot of people follow me on Facebook, so I just tried to be like non-political anymore. Because back when I was not the president, and I'd post anything and do anything, and then like now I'm a bit more diplomatic, so I have learned a little bit. Not much, but I've learned a little bit of diplomacy.
Yep, you're the Obama of learning diplomacy. Oh, we got Ortho Lab videos. Do you know Tyler? Jay Tyler?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hi, Jay.
He's chatting on here. He said, "So glad you're young. So glad you young fellows have the energy to work these late hours." Yeah, I think all those late hours are behind him. He's got it perfect right now, where he only works because he wants to, I guess.
He only works because he wants to. He's got a beautiful lab.
Oh yeah.
That, he built in his backyard.
Yeah.
So hi Jay. I hope that things are going extremely well for you. I'm not sure if you can hear me or not.
Oh, he can. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna be following suit with him soon. And I'll be purchasing some land outside of town, about 2 acres, and I'm gonna build a lab out there next to the house. So I'm gonna be contacting him to get some tips on what he liked about his, and I'll have to get him on here too if he can stay up this late. Well, he's up late watching it, so now I know he can stay up this late. He's probably laying in bed watching it.
This is how he goes to sleep every night.
Watching my videos.
Watching us nitwits that are working this late.
Well, I just want you to know, it's been 45 minutes and I got one wrap done, bent.
I got about, in the 45 minutes, I think that I've gotten about like 5 minutes worth of work done.
Yep. Yeah, that is amazing how quick that happens. Now, well, a few last questions.
Okay.
You listen to music. Do you allow your employees to listen to music?
Well, they're all salary, so they all have TVs in front of them.
Oh, so they can, and
I don't care. And then that they all know that they have to get their work done each day. And I'm just like, I don't care if it takes you 4 hours or if it takes you 14 hours. So if you want to sit back and watch a movie at some point, that's fine, as long as the work gets done.
So
and they
set
understand
a certain
that
amount in front of them.
Right.
Okay, and they were like, you got to finish this by the end of the day before you can go home.
Right. I mean, because I'm sitting here, but if I turn the camera around, I'm not sure if you'll see this or not. That's mine.
Oh, yeah.
I got a nice 32-inch TTTV there. I do like to watch TTV. I go on binge watching, and there are times where I'll be here and I'll put on the wrong thing. Let's just put it that way. It's something that I like dive into, and the next thing that I know, an hour's passed. I still got to get the work done.
Yeah.
So I try not to put those kind of shows on. I can't watch action. Can't
watch action. Documentaries are good.
Documentaries are good. I went through, because I'm 48 now, so I think that the first 5 years that I had a TV in the lab, DVDs were like really big. and I went out and I bought all the DVDs of all the TV shows that I ever wanted to watch.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I would do late at night. I would sit here and I'd bend my wire and watch all the TV shows that I grew up on. So that was kind of cool.
Well, and now, now it's Netflix, and you just stream, and
Right.
you can just binge watch Netflix, and you don't have to get, like, the complete 8-set DVD of Friends. You just start streaming, and you get to watch it. Sarah and I, my wife, in case you don't know, she trims and pumices for me. So I bend wire, I do acrylic, she trims and pumices. And we have these phones that you can connect 2 Bluetooth devices to. And so we put our ears in, and we start an audio book. And man, we can get some stuff done and get going. And like we started Stephen King's The Stand.
Oh, I love that book.
It's 47 hours long audio book.
Yeah.
It's going to take us weeks to get through it, but so far the worst is when one of us has to step out. Usually it's me. I got to take a phone call or something, and we have to pause the book. She gets so frustrated, and then it's almost as bad as Netflix, where the wife or the spouse secretly watches the next few episodes because they can't wait on the other spouse to. So she starts listening to other audiobooks and loses me. But
well, I did try all the video books because I love to read. I found out though that I can't listen to audiobooks and work at the same time.
Really?
I just can't. There's just something where I get involved in the book way too easily. So I really want to pay attention to the book, so I can't pay attention to bending or pouring or whatever, or I can't.
Oh, that is unusual. Well, and that's where I have to do that, because if I get involved in watching video, I slow down a lot, and I'm like, oh, I can't. It's been, like you said, it's been an hour. I got 4 things done. I'm like, crap, I still got to get all this other stuff done.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I mean, it's fun though. It's like, as long as people are. I mean, I'm at the point now where I like to help out. And if someone can be entertained by my ramblings or learn something from my ramblings, I'm more than no one happy to.
Well,
and I'll catch up on everything. I'll just crank up the Kaleo or the Steve Ray Vaughan or the Iron Maiden, and I'll knock this shit out in no time.
that music is amazing in this field. In fact, Muhammad, who we used to work with, the owner of the lab would listen to. He'd have different modes. He'd like techno music, and he'd listen to like real upbeat whenever he's like sprinkling, but then it wanted to be downbeat when he's bending wire, and mellow and chill. It was really weird, and just the differences in all of us techs, and that's why I'm doing these shows, just to kind of show how we all are. We're all different, but we're all the same.
Yep. We're all in the same boat to get together, and a membership in the AOLP, it helps us all out.
Yes. As we put things together, start putting things out on the website, and member benefits. You got. Let me see. I'm gonna switch the screens. I'm gonna show how many sponsors we got now. I mean, you've busted ass and got Lampert and Envision Tech, Instructo, Leone America, Gaswin, Formlabs, Burton Associates. So
let's take a step back. I'm still waiting for a couple checks.
Oh, don't announce them yet.
The last one, I'm still waiting for a check from.
There you go. Yeah, that makes a big difference. Don't give them any props till you get that check. It's all about.
I'm waiting for checks from doctors, sponsors, but no. I mean, it's really. especially with the members, it's not really about the cash with them. I mean, because I do make the membership as cheap as I possibly can. It's just about numbers and butts and chairs. If the sponsors see more butts and chairs, it's going to make everything else go a lot easier. If other companies see the AOLP as a force with a lot of members, it makes a big difference. If the NADL, they won't even take my phone calls. So, and we're actually all supposed to be a part of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I've spoken with the president there, but our membership is so small now that they don't care.
Small fries.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so it's like the more our membership grows, the more bargaining power that I have, and the more people that I can piss off. and I'll piss them off. I'll go after. I'll piss off anyone. Everyone knows that. I personally think I'm more charming than annoying, but that's debatable.
Hey, I agree with that. Yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah, that it's one of the great things, just having a bigger voice. And as we probably need to wrap up here so we can get our work done, but just having that bigger voice together, and that's one of the things I've noticed being on the YouTube is just how many people just love helping out. We're getting a whole new generation of people that are learning from us that are willing to give what we know knowledge-wise. And you've written many articles. You wrote a big, thick book. Well, I'm missing your pamphlet you made for the conference with those great articles in it. So you need to be commended on all the work you've been doing to get all this together. So.
Well, thank you. But then, I mean, I just kind of feel like that I'm passing it on, because when I was floundering out there and wondering like which way to jump, the first person that I reached out to was Don Inman. And I'm expecting this big lab owner, he's going to blow me off. He spent like 2 hours on the phone with me.
Yeah.
And then I called Christian at Neo Labs, and he spoke with me. So I was talking to these guys at Big Labs who had been down this road with this, who had already been down this road with the tech. So I kind of feel like that I have to pass it on, and it's something that I do enjoy. So
that I was surprised too. We had Don Inman down a couple times to speak with us, and he was more than willing, and came down for free, because he said my brother lives in Plano and I get to visit him, so I'll come speak, and he got to, even Michael Wright, and he came down to speak and created EasyRx, and when he opened it up for all the other labs, I was like, this is amazing. And then created the Facebook group, which then was the spawn of the association's Facebook group.
Right.
And so it when you really get to know each other, we find out we're all the same. We're all in this together. And so with that, and you got any last final words you want to spew out there to everybody?
Just sign up for the damn AOLP. And also, I'm serious. If you're not thinking about it, start thinking about it now. It's the end of March. It's the last weekend of March, and we just have a good time.
Oh,
I mean,
man, yeah.
It's a really good time. Extremely educational. It's 100% ortho. We do have 100% ortho program. If you live in a state, which I don't, where you need the CEs, you can get what I think it was over 18 last
16 to
last year,
18, yeah,
or
depending
16.
on if you remember, you got a couple extra because of the lunch and everything.
Okay,
So
right. And then plus it's just a good time. I mean, like first time people there are just they're just amazed because they can come and talk to people and have a drink with someone that understands exactly where they're coming from, which is nice because I'm married, or I was married. And my family and friends, they don't even know what I do. They all think that I make tea.
yeah,
And I'm like, no, I don't make tea, but that's okay.
yeah,
So I come down and just being with a bunch of people that understand that I'm here at 12 o'clock at night and why I'm here at 12 o'clock at night. And it's just nice.
yeah. It's nice being around a group of people, like-minded people, and I hope a show like this will kind of show that as I interview more and more people late at night. We're both working, and to get that in a concentrated form is that April meeting in Dallas, in
Yes.
Texas. Is you hanging out at night, hanging out in classes, learning from each other. It's really uh, a great venue, a great place to do that at.
Yeah, and also this meeting, it might be the last time that anyone might see me because 2 weeks after that, I'm going on a family trip. So it's a 10-day bus ride through Poland. So you're going to have 25 drunk Polacks on a bus going around the country. What could possibly go wrong?
Oh my gosh. Oh man, that's you should live stream that. You get a lot of videos.
I don't think that there's a rating for that.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Well, I'll let you go. And again, thank you for coming on and burning the midnight ortho with me. And
Thanks a lot for having me.
yeah, yeah, and stay on. I'm gonna end the stream. So everybody, let me change my camera angle here because this is how fancy we are. Usually, my son Sawyer is doing this with me, but he didn't feel good. He didn't want to work this late. He runs the camera for me. But anyway, I'm gonna do these all different times of the week, all different hours. So be sure and subscribe and click the notification bell, and you'll get notifications whenever I schedule. And I'll try to schedule them as early as possible in the day, so that if you are working that late that night, you can join us while you're working and hopefully be entertained or put to sleep. So with that being said, I'm gonna sign off, and happy bending to everybody.